Welcome to day 153 of it's 154 of our BitClout journey. These days are getting there's too many days anymore, Brian.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
it's going fast.
so Diamond Hands, he talked a little bit about the price of clout yesterday, and he also had another announcement to make about the next showcase. Do you want to touch on that a little bit, Brian?
Yeah, so I think following this price drop, which we saw happen over the last few days, I think a lot of people had some questions. And I know on a lot of the back channels on Discord, there's some discussion about what the factors were that played into this massive drop in the price of BitClout. And what we saw happen was that two big whales, I guess you would call them, sold significant amounts of BitClout, amounting to over $1 million total. And when this happened, we saw the price drop. But people had questions like was there a floor in place? Did Diamond Hands and the core team have a floor at $100? Because I mean, we literally went months and the price wouldn't drop under $100. Now, with the price dropping under 100 and these two whales selling, a lot of people began to question, were these related? Did the whales know that the floor was going to be removed? Did the whale sales cause the floor to be penetrated? Or were the sales caused by them knowing that the floor was going to be removed, which I think would be a horrible thing. It would be like insider information and trading on insider information. So Diamond Hands addressed some of this yesterday in a post, and he basically like one of the problems that we've had in the back channel is that there is little movement to the upside because people are buying. We talked about this before. People are buying a lot on BitClout.com and more are likely selling on blockchain.com. So people will buy on BitClout.com and then the Gringot bot will pay them. And then that BitClout needs to be replenished by Diamond Hands on blockchain or AscendX. But the thing is that it looked like he would put a limit order in at around $100, even if somebody on BitClout.com bought for 101, or even if they were buying at $100, the fact that they were replenishing it with a limit order rather than buying at the ask meant that there wasn't much momentum to the upside, which pretty much capped the market and it kept it. There's a floor at 100, but there's no actual demand or not much demand that would push the ask up. So Diamond Hands addressed this. Sorry for the long-winded.
That was pretty boring, Brian. That was boring.
But no, I think it's important. Diamond Hands addressed it. And he did confirm that he was buying some for his personal stash at 100, but he was also, when they did sell it on BitClout.com, he would replenish it with a limit order on blockchain or AscendX, meaning that he would put an order in below the ask. So if they say the ask was 105 and the bid was 99, he would put a bid in at 100 and wait for the sellers to come.
Wait. But what I read into is that he would put the order in as close to the price that was sold on BitClout.com as he could.
Right.
And the price on BitClout was the maximum for the last hour.
But I think the issue is that since the price on BitClout was mirroring the price on blockchain, and so the majority of sales were happening on BitClout and not blockchain, the fact that the price was at 100 on BitClout.com, it would sell and then he would have to buy it back at 100. So there's no price. The price on BitClout was mimicking the price on blockchain, and the people were buying on BitClout, not buying on blockchain because it's easier. And so he's buying at the bid on blockchain while people are buying at the ask, which is mimicking pretty much the bid on blockchain. So I think that there is a good argument that it lacked price movement to the upside because of this. But at the same time, him putting money in of his own to buy at 102 also put a floor under that as well. So I think the price was somewhat, it's hard to tell what effect each of those had. I can understand the criticism, but I can also understand what he did because there was no other better way to do it.
Like, to me, it made sense. There was really no other option for him to do, so as
The other option is not selling BitClout.com, but then that's a mess because nobody can really buy it.
Yeah, because so many people, so there's people that can't buy on blockchain, there's people who can't buy on SendX, and there's people who want to get onboarded and onboarded easy without having to go through signing up to a whole nother exchange, perhaps give KYC information, etc. So it was what had to be done, and it's what has to be done. I think the Coinbase listing, I know I keep saying this, I think the Coinbase listing is going to help, like it's going to reduce some of the stress. And what the most important part is that Diamond Hand said there was no coordination whatsoever with other sellers. So that's great to hear.
Right. So I replied shortly after that post explaining it. And I said, I think a lot of people, based on what I was hearing in the Discord back channels, a lot of BitClout users were worried about those two big sales and how it coincided with this collapse in the clout price. So I asked him flat out, I said, hey, a lot of people are worried. A lot of people are questioning, did these two sellers know that this floor was going to be removed if there was a floor? And did that force them or convince them to sell their clout, big quantities of clout before that floor was removed? Or was the fact that they sold the reason why that floor was eaten into? And he said he doesn't collaborate with anybody. He doesn't tell anybody when he's buying or what he's buying. And there's no, it's not like he told these two people, hey, I'm going to stop buying. I'm going to stop doing something.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if that floor was coordinated, and if somebody did find out about it, it would only hurt the person that told them about it, because they're the ones that are going to have to buy up that clout before it collapses.
Well, I mean, it's gonna hurt the whole community. It's basically they're taking that chunk of money and collapsing the price.
Right, well, it didn't happen though. So it didn't happen. So I don't think we should be focused on talking about that. So like the price has fallen, the floor fell through. I mean, Diamond Hands was one of the people buying at around $100, as was, I'm sure, there's probably other investors who said, oh, $100 has been acting as a floor, so I'm going to put my buy order in here. And they didn't expect to have these two big whales sell out so quickly. And that caused the floor to collapse, caused the price to collapse. And now we're back in price discovery, where we got to find, where is the price going to find itself? And nobody really knows. It's a good sign that it's been bouncing off about $60 or so.
Yeah. I think that the next few weeks, I think it's just going to bounce around a lot. It might be some trading opportunities. But I think ultimately, there's way more tailwinds than headwinds. I think we got a lot of the bad news out of it. We had this collapse. Now there's only blue skies in front of us, I think, because we have the new UI coming. We have the referral program coming. I'm sure there's going to be some fuel to the fire by ways of advertising. And then of course, the much anticipated Coinbase listing is coming. And who knows what else? I mean, we could see some companies start integrating as nodes. So I think there's a lot to look forward to. I know that when the price drops, a lot of people get discouraged, but I made a post earlier, and I think that now that the price is like 60% of what it was, find ways to earn clout, because when you earn that clout, it's going to be almost double when it returns to $100.
Yeah, if it returns to $100. I mean, we don't want to say it's going to return to $100. Nobody really knows. But in other news, the showcase is coming. The next NFT showcase is coming on, what is it, Monday?
Yes, so Sunday at 3 p.m. is the deadline to submit a piece to the showcase. It's the same method as before. You gotta cross post on Twitter or Instagram and then tag and then use the hashtag clout NFT. And then the new showcase will go live Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, which is 6 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll have another week of showcase. And I think that it's great to see, because maybe we'll see some new creators. Obviously, the NFT space has drastically decreased in volume. We're not seeing the bids. We're not seeing the closed auctions that we did in those first couple of weeks. It's in significant decline, but I think that's to be expected. And I think that the clout price has a lot to do with it. I think a lot of people don't want to use clout to buy things at high prices because they realize it could double literally within weeks. And I think they're just hesitant.
Yeah, and like I think just we expect this. Brian and I expected the NFT market to kind of stall out at some point. I think a lot of people did, just because there's that initial excitement, just like there's that initial excitement when diamonds came out, and just the regular NFT market in general. There was that huge spike, and then it died out for a bit before catching on again. And I think personally, I mean, this is just my opinion, I think we're going to see this lull for quite some time. There's going to be excitement around the referral program. There's going to be excitement around Coinbase. And then when some of that excitement dies out, I think we'll start seeing people getting back into NFTs again, especially if we see a huge influx of new users sign up. So, I mean, I think we're going to see the ups and downs when it comes to everything on this platform, and this is going to be no different.
Yeah, I mean, it's how the crypto space works. You have this like gold rush. You have, yes, euphoria that everybody gets as a price triples or quadruples, or if something new comes out, and then you have this depressed feeling, these few months of depression where the price plunges usually 50 or 60%, and then the cycle starts all over again. At least that's how it worked with Bitcoin and a lot of these other alt currencies that we've been following in the past several years.
So and I want to move on. Did you hear about OnlyFans? So they banned adult content, but now they're retracting that ban. Did you hear about that?
I did hear that. So that's interesting. There is Clout fans on BitClout, which they are actually moving forward and doing a lot. So that's something you check out. I don't know if OnlyFans is going to. I don't know how they're doing this. I don't know if they're gonna figure out a way to accept payments in another way, or did they find a credit card processor?
From what I've heard, like the processor wasn't really the main reason they were limiting and stuff, but I don't know that much about it either. But I find it interesting that they're backtracking because so many of the creators on there were upset. But I've also noticed a lot of creators are still really angry because they've lost a lot of business because of the announcement itself. So maybe, maybe Clout fans will take off. I know it seems like a really cool project. It's basically an OnlyFans created on top of BitClout. So
and we're actually going to have the Clout fans founder on the show. I think next Tuesday. We actually did a utility NFT, and he won it. And one of the perks is to join us for a morning show. So I think that's going to be Tuesday morning. We're just working out the final details, but I'm looking forward to that because I think he'll have a lot of good insight into the OnlyFans situation. Sure. And another thing, maybe the OnlyFans situation has something to do with them wanting to go public or something. Maybe they figure if they go public and they're seen as this adult company, maybe they wouldn't have the.
It's ridiculous. So much of their isn't the vast majority of their platform adult content? At least that's what I figured. I've never used OnlyFans, so
sure.
So, but I mean, I would think that if it wasn't just adult content, I would have known about it for having content other than adult content.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's interesting. We're gonna see where that goes. And I think that would be a good place to end off day 154. I got that right? 154 days.
54.
All right, and we'll see you tomorrow.